about a month ago, I dropped a video crediting Tariq, Lil Ghost, St. Patrick for essentially being the sole reason why Power Legacy is even a thing. Boy met up with Uncle Tommy on that rooftop, did a little talk no jutsu. Before you know it, Tariq was able to seemingly convince his uncle to go back to New York in the hopes that they can begin some type of joint operation out there as opposed to Chicago. Tommy just got done setting everything up for himself. He went through all these seasons of Force, almost getting killed multiple times. And just when he was able to meet his aspiration of becoming the king of Chicago, essentially, decided, you know what, I'm just going to go back to New York with Tariq. Yeah, till this day, that shit still don't sit right with me. I mean, I was a lot more on board with it when it first happened, right? But I still was asking the question of, does this even really make sense for Tommy to do? After everything I listed earlier in the video. And yes, I understand. Legacy was already being built up well before Force ended. So a conversation of this sort was bound to happen in order to set up that series. But when you really look at everything in a vacuum, it really just does not make sense at all for Tommy to have accepted this offer. Crazy because I feel like the writing throughout Power Book 4 Force is really good, especially in this final season. This interaction to wrap up the series just really gave Power Book 2 Ghost to me. In this video, I want to speak on why I believe Tommy's response to Tariq's request of him coming back to New York so that they could work together should have been shot down by Tommy, because there's no reason for bro to even want to go back to New York the way he left it. And one way I feel like they could have went about changing it to where it makes more sense for Tommy to go back to New York. All those things said, if you like anything I gotta say all in the video, you already know what you gotta do. Go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, do all those things. Follow if you want TikTok. I was gonna forget about that. No, follow right now. Let's talk about it. So boom. This man, Tariq, pulls up to Chicago. Because of him, Uncle Tommy got to live to see another day. Because he got to live to see another day, he got to live to see that he became the head of Chicago that he's wanted to be since the first episode of Force. He got the new AUSA in his back pocket who's willing to work for him as opposed to Stacey Marks. He's got Grayskull and his crew work with him. He's still got work with Che and OCBI want to work with Tommy. He's got a kid on the way with a fine Latina mommy. He is winning in all aspects of life right now. And of course, Tariq peeps this and he's like, my boy Uncle Tommy got it made out here. A lot of things could be better back in New York. Maybe I should go ahead and recruit him. And that's obviously what ends up doing. Knowing Tariq opportunistic self, we already knew he was going to do this. The way he was peeping games, seeing how Tommy had things set up here in Chicago. He knew that with or without Tommy being here, similarly to how he has things in New York, seemingly, because we don't know exactly what plug or what connection he ended up losing that he's telling Tommy about right here. He could be lying about it. I don't really think so. We know that Tariq has a pretty solid operation in New York, at least by the end of Power Book 2 Go. And that Tommy set up in a similar way. Let's build up this empire in New York together. I'll suggest a couple things. For one, Tariq definitely did save Tommy's life. It's no doubt about it. Tommy also did call Tariq down to Chicago to help him with this favor, get him out of the bind that he was in, and Tariq met that favor and then some for sure. But let's not make it seem like Tommy is going to New York because he owes Tariq here. A conversation between Tariq and Tommy on the rooftop, Tommy talking about I did want my child to grow up in the same streets in New York that I came up in. He's not thinking, oh, I owe Tariq. I mean, Tariq doesn't even bring that up in the conversation. The whole I want my kid to grow up in the same part of New York that I came up in is literally one of the selling points and reasons why Tommy is strongly considering going back to New York. And respectfully, that's a dumb reason to want to go back. For starters, Maria just got pregnant. It's not even promised that you going back to New York, you being known as dead in New York, and all of a sudden popping back up in the city. It's not promised that you will be around long enough to even be on the same block as your child when they're finally born. Once the New York Police Department find out that you back in the city, they are going to be on you like white on rice. And yes, I know Tariq has the police department on lock for right now. There's no way throughout the entirety of Power Legacy is going to be like that. Let's be honest. Respected Tariq, but Ghost didn't even have the ability to have the feds on his payroll like that. If we got characters like Jenny Sullivan, Blanca Rodriguez, hell, even Carter coming back in Power Legacy, realistically speaking, they not just go let Tariq rock like this, much less with him working with Tommy. Secondly, what was the point of you doing everything you did in Force just for you to immediately leave right after you set everything up for yourself? There's no advantageous situation you going to New York to work with Tariq, respectfully. You don't even really know how bro conducts business as he is. You could be walking into a terrible situation. That's the problem with the main characters. They know they got plot armor, so they're willing to do whatever because they know that they're gonna make it through regardless. You should definitely be worried about bringing Maria back to New York, because like I said, if the police department finds out that you're alive, they're gonna find who you're connected to. Once they find out that you and Maria and that she's having your child, she is going to be collateral damage in any work that you and Tariq get into out there, which will then have you in the same situation that you've been in this last season of Power Book 4 Force, constantly having to look over your shoulders to make sure that your loved ones is safe and sound. At least in Chicago, you know you got Miguel, who's also looking out for Maria and also has her best interests at heart. You can't bring Miguel to New York because then you leave Shanti vulnerable. You leave her with less manpower and less people that she can genuinely trust to help run the new CBI. I can see if Tommy was alone, had no family, was willing to make this move. The fact that you know you're not really going to want to make this move without your family being involved, knowing who you are on the streets of New York, it's just not a smart move. It's not enough incentive for you to want to pick up everything and go up out there. I personally think a better way that Gary Linda and the writers could have went about having Tommy have no other choice but to go to New York. Be the half bro, maybe, I don't know, take a little bit of a loss in this finale episode of Force. We have Bobby DeFranco stop saying and have him full throttle on getting Tommy arrested. Have the Chicago Police Department actually do something in order to make that happen. Tommy also has to deal with a sober Jannard as well as a Che. Is expecting to demand that with all these problems that Tommy is going through right now, he just cannot meet. On top of that, maybe having Maria just randomly pick up and go. As much as I wouldn't have liked her just leaving with no explanation, maybe you could have her fate be up in the air and maybe she could just pop up in Legacy at a random time. To have Tommy amass all the success that he does by the end of Power Book 4, just to have him immediately leave that success on behalf of working with Tariq, who again, we don't even know what his business is fully looking like at this point in time, just seems absolutely ridiculous to me. The fact that you're even considering this, everything that you know you've set up for yourself in Chicago at this point, you damn near run Jannard and Vic all the way up out of Chicago. They're not even a factor at this point. You have little to no ops that you really need to worry about. The fact that you even thinking about going back to New York is just baffling to me, especially when you have no good reason to. Like I said, if there was a reason for Tommy to go back, if there was some threat in Chicago that was so incredibly tall that you needed to go back to New York to work with Tariq to build structure for yourself, to lay low and build something with family, I could understand that. If you wanted to go back just to go back, essentially, just don't make a lot of sense to me. And I know a lot of y'all is going to be like, well, you thinking too much into this. I get it. I understand. It's the power universe that's ever expanded. Wish that we could have felt more stakes in that Force finale enough to where Tommy would really have to consider going back to New York with Tariq for a valid reason as opposed to just going back essentially for vibes. But y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. What do you think about the interaction between Tariq and Tommy on the roof? Y'all think Tommy's valid for entertaining Tariq's proposal? Or do you think he should stay put in Chicago like me? Until next time though, I'll be in Hoche Swap. We'll be entertained and we go talk soon. Peace y'all.